around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers. And that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
Hello, anyone here?
Be right out. I was just in the... Oh, hello, Marshal Dillon.
Hello, Ben. How are you? That shipment come in from St. Louis?
They came in on the morning train, Marshal. I was going to send the boy over to tell you.
What, have you seen it yet?
I haven't had a chance to open it up. Here it is.
Oh, good. Well, let's see how it looks. Huh?
All right. There it is. Prettiest gold watch chain I ever did see.
Chester will like that.
Yeah. And look at the gleam on that elk's tooth.
Yeah.
Chester know you're getting this for him?
Oh, no. It's by way of a surprise. He thinks he's got a birthday this month sometime. Saturday's about the middle of the month, so I figure it's as good a day as any to give it.
Yeah, morning, Miss Tara.
Oh, morning, Ben. Marshal Dillon.
Morning, Tara.
Oh, how beautiful. Is it yours, Marshal?
Oh, no. It's for Chester. He's always wanted one.
It's lovely. Ben, did my hand mirror arrive?
Yeah, came in this morning, Miss Tara.
Can I take it now?
Well, I don't know why not. It's paid for. Here. Careful now, Miss Tara. Came all the way from Boston, so don't drop it.
Oh, I won't. Don't worry. Thanks, Ben. Goodbye. Goodbye, Marshal Dillon.
Goodbye, Tara. That's a mighty pretty girl, Ben.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. She's blossomed out since I saw her last. Well, what owe you, Ben?
Oh, be just about $4, Marshal.
$4, huh? Yeah. There we are, $4.
Thank you, Marshal. And give Chester my regards.
I'll do that, Ben. Well, morning, Miss Lane.
Morning, Marshal.
Morning.
Morning, Marshal.
Hello, John.
Oh, hello, Marshal.
Good morning, Chester.
Well, morning, Mr. Dillon.
Put this in the safe for me, will you?
Yes, sir.
How was the auction yesterday?
You know, Mr. Dillon, I never did see so many horses and mules.
You buy anything?
No, sir, Mr. Dillon. But Asa Welton bought that old stud horse off Mr. McGovern.
No, is that so?
Yeah. You know, I feel sorry for poor old Asa. Why, that stud horse has got a ring bone so bad he can't hardly walk.
Well, Asa isn't very smart when it comes to horses, I'm afraid.
No, sir, he ain't. And I purely hate to see him lose good money on a horse like that. Why, he paid $19 for that horse.
No? Well, he'll make out if the stud can get him some colts.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, I guess. That is, if he's got a mare.
Yes, Chester, if he's got a mare.
And if he don't, well, sir, I just don't know. My.
Chester, this evening I'm going to have supper with Kitty over at Dodge House. Will you stay here? There's no work to do, but you could keep an eye on things, huh?
Why, I'd be proud, Mr. Dillon.
More coffee, Kitty?
No thanks, Matt.
Yeah. You, mind if I smoke?
Oh, those are the longest cigars I ever saw.
Well, if it bothers you,
Matt,
I'll have...
6 nights a week at the Texas Trail, and you think I'd mind one cigar? Go ahead.
Okay.
Matt.
What?
There's something been troubling me.
Oh? What's that?
Well, I wanted to have supper here so we could talk.
Well, what is it, Kitty?
Almost 4 months ago, you and Chester brought a little girl back into town. Daddy was dead, out in the plains. You brought her back because she couldn't stay out there alone.
Well, go on.
She was real sweet. Young, I guess maybe 17.
You're talking about Tara Hantry.
Yeah, Matt.
I saw her over at the general store this morning. What about her?
Well, she's hanging around the Texas Trail, Matt. I see her there all the time. Afternoons, evenings.
Oh? Well, why are you telling me this, Kitty?
Well, it's no place for a girl. Not a young girl, not a girl like Tara.
I don't have any say about how Kate runs the Texas Trail. If they don't want Tara in the place, Kate should keep her out.
Well, Kate won't keep her out. Why should she? Tara's attractive. She's good for business.
Kitty, when I brought Tara back to Dodge, Lawrence Kells and his wife took her in. They've been treating her like their own daughter. Now, it's not my place to interfere
Well,
with
maybe
them.
they don't know, Matt.
They're church-going people, Kitty, Kells and his wife. They try to do what's right for Tara. I'm sure they do.
Matt, people like the Kells don't know the Texas Trail. They don't know the saddle bums, the spoilers, the wild ones that hang out there. Even if they did, they wouldn't see too much wrong with the man Tara's taken up with.
Well, who is it?
Jack Grace.
Jack Grace?
Yeah.
Tara's keeping company with him?
She has been since he came to town a few weeks back.
Oh, that little fool.
Well, don't blame her too much, Matt. He cuts quite a figure. Long hair, buckskin shirt, Texas spurs. She's young, and his stories make for good listening.
Yeah.
Matt, I've talked with Grace, and there's something wrong with him. He's too cold, like he's dead inside. He can charm you with a smile, and he talks just fine, almost like a gentleman. But there's nothing inside him, Matt. He's empty, like a shell.
All right. What do you want me to do, Kitty?
Thank you, Matt. Talk to the Kells.
All right. Tomorrow morning. I promise.
Morning, Marshal Dillon.
Good morning, Tara.
We're having some lemonade. Won't you join us?
I came looking for Mr. Kells.
They're both down at the church, getting ready for the social tomorrow night. Marshal Dillon, have you met Mr. Grace?
Mr. Grace?
I know of you, Marshal Dillon. Down around Waco, several of the boys speak of you.
No?
What did you want to see the Kells about, Marshal Dillon? Maybe I could help you.
I think I should talk to them, Tara. It's a matter of business.
About Mr. Kell's business? The buffalo hides?
No. It's another sort of thing. I better come back, Tara. They'll be home later?
Well, you know how these church socials take planning. It may be late.
Yeah, well, I'll come back then.
Sorry you won't join us, Marshal.
Thank you anyway, Mr. Grace.
I'll walk you to the gate, Marshal.
Oh, fine.
I'll be seeing you again, Marshal Dillon.
Maybe, Mr. Grace.
I know why you came here today, Marshal. I know why you wanted to see the Kells.
You do, Tara?
It's about me and Jack Grace, isn't it?
This isn't the time to talk about it, Tara.
It's a fine time to talk about it.
Now, look,
The
Tara...
busybodies in this town sent you over here. They don't like my keeping company with Jack. Isn't that right?
They're not busybodies, Tara. They're people who are fond of you. Older than you and know more about Jack Grace than you do.
Blue-nosed old gossip.
Now, Tara, listen to me.
No, you listen to me. For as long back as I can remember, Pa and me worked that dried-up old homestead. Alone after Ma died. It killed Pa. came near to killing me.
Look, when I brought you into Dodge, the Kells took you in. They treated you like their own daughter. Mr. Kells is a wealthy man. He's given you everything he can.
And I'm grateful to him. He's tried hard to do all the things Pa would have done if the planes hadn't killed him. But he still can't give me the love and excitement and fun Jack Grace can.
Oh, Tara, so help me. If you were 2 years younger, I'd put you across my knee and slap some sense into you. Now, if you hurt the Kells because of Jack Grace, or if you get yourself in trouble, I'm going to forget about this.
If I didn't know better, I'd say it was a lover's spat.
I'll be back later, Tara.
There isn't much point in that, Marshal Dillon. From what I could hear on the porch, Miss Tara seems to have said what she thinks real plain.
I'll be back later, Tara. Will you tell him?
I don't know why you bother, Marshal. If the Kells are ones to worry about loose reputations, they might not pay too much attention to you.
What are you getting at?
A U.S. Marshal who sniffs around one of the girls at the Texas Trail isn't in the best of company, and after all, everyone knows that Kitty is...
Now get up. And if I ever hear you've mentioned Kitty again, I'll come after you.
Why don't you do that?
I will.
Good day, Tara.
Oh, Jack,
I'll call back for you later this afternoon.
I'm sorry, Tara. I didn't mean for this to happen.
you're just a big, blundering, stupid bully.
Tara, please.
And if you mess up the one thing that means happiness for me, I'll help him kill you.
We will return for the second act of Gunsmoke in just a moment. But first, Mystery-minded? Then mind you don't miss CBS Radio's Mr. Chameleon on the first of his new Friday night broadcasts tonight on most of these same CBS radio stations. Now, the second act of Gunsmoke.
Chester told me you wanted to see me, Mr. Dillon.
Yes, Mr. Kells. Won't you sit down, please?
Yeah, sure. Hope it won't take too long. Gretchen and I are in charge of the box show tonight, you know. Wouldn't want to be too late.
Well, it may take a few minutes, Mr. Kells. It's important.
Oh?
It's about Tara.
And Jack Grace.
You know about it, then?
I've known about it ever since she came to town 3 weeks ago. They met, heaven knows where or how, and she's been seen him most every day since.
You know where she spends her time?
At the Texas Trail. Yes, I know. Gretchen and I have tried every way we know, Marshal Dillon. We've both talked with Tara, but she's young and headstrong. I don't know what to do. I think she'd run away with him if we interfered again.
Mr. Kells, as Marshal, this is no affair of mine, but as someone who's fond of Tara and... Well, I wish you'd try talking with her again.
Well, we'll do everything we can, I promise you that. Perhaps Grace will get tired of her and leave Dodge.
Perhaps.
Well, anyhow, you know I'll sure try.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming over here, Mr. Kells.
Sure, Marshal. You're going to be at the social tonight, aren't you?
Oh, sure. Chester and I'll be there. Chester'd be real upset to miss it.
Good. We'll see you there.
Okay, fine.
Now, Mr. Dillon, this is Miss Honeycutt.
How do?
Well, I'm proud to know you, ma'am.
I bought her supper box. Did you bid on any supper boxes, Mr. Dillon?
No, Chester. I was late getting here.
Oh,
so...
that's a pity. Now, what do you do for supper?
Oh, I'll make out all right.
Well, there's really enough for the three of us, Marshal, if you'd care to join us.
Well, thank you, Miss Honeycutt, but I'm looking for Mr. and Ms. Kells.
Oh, they're not here yet. The parson was asking for them a few minutes ago. Mr. Kells was to have auctioned off the suppers, but they didn't come, so we went ahead without them.
Oh?
You sure you won't join us, Marshal?
No, thank you, ma'am. I'll just wait for the Kells. Perhaps I'll walk back toward their place and meet them on the way.
Well, all right, Mr. Dillon. Miss Honeycutt and I'll be right over there if you need me.
I don't think I will, Chester. You just go ahead and enjoy yourself.
Real pleased to meet you.
Nice to have met you, Miss Honeycutt.
Mind that bench, Miss Honeycutt.
Yes, thank you.
Matt?
What? Oh, hello, Kitty.
You leaving the party before I get there?
No. I was just walking back toward the Kells' place. They're not at the social yet, and this might be a good chance to talk to them.
Oh, all right if I come with you?
Well, sure. I had a talk with Mr. Kells this afternoon.
Yeah?
Yeah. He knows all about Tara and Grace. Has known for a long time.
Well, what's he going to do about it, Matt?
He doesn't know what to do. Neither do I, Kitty. Look, Kitty, you're a woman. You know about these things. You don't tell a woman she shouldn't love some man, do you?
No. No, you don't.
Kells has tried hard. He's done everything he can.
Well, he's a wealthy man. He could send her east for a few months on a visit. St. Louis, maybe.
To forget Grace?
Yeah?
Would it do any good?
No.
Oh, there's the house.
It's dark. Maybe we passed him.
No, I don't think so. Here.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Matt.
Kitty?
Yeah?
Maybe you better wait here, huh?
Matt, what is it?
The house shouldn't be dark. We didn't pass them.
What are you going to do?
I'm going inside.
I'll come with you.
All right, come on.
The door's open. Oh, Matt. Matt, look.
Stay here, Kitty. Shot, both of them.
Oh.
No wonder they were late for the auction. Kitty, go back to the church social. Find Chester. Have him meet me at the jail. Tell Doc to come over here.
What are you going to do, Matt?
I don't know. Look around, maybe.
Why this? What for?
Who knows why people kill, Kitty? Money, maybe. I don't know.
But who'd do it, Matt? Who'd kill the Kells?
Someone who hated him enough or thought they had something he wanted. Bad. Real bad.
Grace?
Will you please get Chester and Doc?
Yeah.
Tara? Tara, are you all right? It's Matt Dillon, Tara. Are you hurt bad? Who did it, Tara? Do you know?
Yes. Yes, I know.
Well, who was it? Was it Grace?
Oh, Matt. Matt.
What happened, Tara? Tara.
Mr. Kells was waiting for him when Jack came for me. Mr. Kells wanted to talk with Jack, he said, and
Well, go on.
I don't know. I don't know.
I can't help if you don't tell me what happened.
But when Jack came, there was an argument. Mr. Kells told Jack to go away, leave me alone. Told him not to come back. Jack laughed, called Mr. Kells a name, and Miss Kells slapped him. And Jack hit her. Mr. Kells tried to get his rifle in the corner, and Jack Jack,
Yeah?
he shot him. He shot both of them. Then he turned and said it wouldn't have worked out for us. He was leaving. Just like that. He was leaving. You see, you'd be nothing but trouble, he said. I'm leaving, he said. Then he hit me. And oh.
Doc will be here in a few minutes, Tara. He'll take care of you.
You want me to go with you, Mr. Dillon?
No, you stay here. Get me that Winchester, will you?
Yes, sir. Here you are.
Thank you.
How do you figure to trail him at night, Mr. Dillon?
I don't. I'm taking a guess, that's all.
You know where he's going?
Like I say, it's a guess. It won't be back to Texas. He's wanted there. Might be Abilene. Ben Thompson would cover for him there.
You'll have an hour or more start on him, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, I know, but I figure to take the back country and ride hard. Maybe he'll cut his sign by morning.
You'll be riding 3 miles to his 1.
I'll take the buckskin. He can last.
Yes, sir. Don't you want me to follow you?
I should be back by tomorrow night. You stay here and help Kitty and Doc with everything. And take good care of the girl. She needs help.
Yes, sir. Good luck, Mr. Dillon.
Clover. Grace, you can't see me. Don't bother to try. Just drop your gun belt. Easy. And your rifle. Throw it down. Now keep your hands high, just like they are.
You travel fast, Dillon. I didn't waste time getting to here.
I know this country better than you, Grace. Roads aren't always straight.
Even so, that buckskin of yours must be quite a piece of horse.
He is. We'll be starting back right quick, but meanwhile you just sit tall right where you are.
Arms will get tired. Taking me back to jail in Dodge.
Well, what do you expect? You murdered 2 people just last night, tried a third.
I just hit Tara down. I don't know as I tried to kill her.
You must have known I'd come after you.
I figured maybe you'd start tracking me toward Texas. I didn't give you credit to think of my heading for Abilene. I guess the joke's on me.
Yeah, I guess it is. You know, I don't understand what goes on inside you, Grace.
There's no point in my getting riled. You got me cold, Deck.
Someone told me earlier you were just a shell, that you were empty inside. But by heaven, you are. You're crazy, Grace. Just mean, pure crazy.
It's you doing that talking, Marshal. Please yourself. In a way, it's all Tara's fault, I suppose. Well, it wouldn't have worked out anyway, like I told her. All right if I light up? Marshal?
All right. But watch your moves.
My makings are in my blue...
Don't, Grace!
I didn't know the Kansas marshals were so fast.
A derringer up the sleeves, an old story, Grace.
Yeah, but they sure are... guess I won't go to trial after all.
No, maybe not. But you're going back to Dodge.
Like they say on the posters. Dead or...
Yeah. Dead or alive.
Marshal Dillon, I want to thank you and Miss Kitty for everything you've done for me since...
Sure.
You got everything in the stage, Tara?
Yes, Miss Kitty.
It's a long trip, Tara. You sure you won't change your mind?
I think I'll like it back east, and St. Louis won't be as big as all this.
Marshal Dillon will be late into Hays City if I don't get away now.
Okay, driver. Well, goodbye, Tara. Good luck.
Goodbye. Well, Matt, she's gone.
Yeah. I don't blame her for wanting to leave, Kitty. The West took nearly everything she loved. Her ma and pa, and the Kells.
And her true love?
Look, Jack Grace?
Jack Grace is no good, but Tara gave him her heart. And she never got it all back.
Perhaps you're right, Kitty, but Tara's young. She'll mend.
Will she, Matt?
I hope so, Kitty. I truly do.
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Special music for tonight's story was composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were Sammy Hill as Tara and John Daner as Jack Grace, with Ralph Moody, Joe Duval, and Vivi Janis, Parley Bear as Chester, and Georgia Ellis as Kitty. Gunsmoke is heard by our troops overseas through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke. Novelist C.S. Forrester saw in the turbulent Napoleonic Wars an ideal historical background for the exploits of a seagoing hero of his own creation, Horatio Hornblower. And now every Friday night on most of these same CBS radio stations, Michael Redgrave stars as Horatio Hornblower. Clancy Cassell speaking. Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers. And that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
Quiet night, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. Except for that coyote. He's wailing his head off out there. Mad at the moon, I guess.
Or in love, maybe.
Oh?
Yes, sir. The way I've noticed it, any time you find a man or an animal out squalling around in the dark, it's usually love.
Yeah, but this one sounds kind of mournful, Chester.
Well, sir, love is mournful sometimes, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Matt?
Is
that you?
Oh, good evening, Miss Morley.
How have you been, Matt?
Oh, fine. Fine, thank you. You, down here on Front Street this time of night alone?
I'm looking for Red Lawson. He's a new man, works for Al. Al's meeting him sometime after midnight, and they're going out on a cattle buying trip. I want to talk to him first. You satisfied?
Well, it's just that this is no place for a woman alone, Miss Morley. Maybe you better go home.
There are other women down here.
They belong here, Miss Morley. They work here.
Oh, don't be so stuffy, Matt. And call me Ava for once. Everybody else does.
Well, your husband might take exception to that, Miss Morley.
Now, you're blaming me for what happened before, aren't you?
I'm not blaming you for anything, Miss Morley.
I didn't tell him to get into a gunfight over me. It wasn't my fault.
I didn't say it was. Chester, you better see that Miss Morley gets home, all right?
Yes, sir.
I can get home by myself.
My, she's pretty as a picture. It makes you wonder.
Yeah, maybe you were right, Chester. With a woman like that, love might be kind of mournful.
So I just give my rope a couple of turns around that juniper stump, and I jerk back on it.
Lawson?
Oh, hi, Marshal.
I wonder if I could see you for a minute, huh?
Yeah, sure. Be right back, boys. What's on your mind, Marshal?
Lawson, I just ran into Miss Morley in the street outside.
You did?
Yeah, I suggested she go home. She's got no business being down here this time of night. It might be a good idea if you'd tell her that, huh?
Seems to me that's up to her husband.
Look, you're new here, Lawson. I guess you didn't know Fred Curtis and the Santa Fe Kid.
I heard about it. A couple of fools, as far as I can see.
Yeah, I guess they were. After they met Miss Morley.
Hey, look, Marshal. What's your stake in this?
I got no stake. What Miss Morley does is her own business, as long as it doesn't cause any trouble. I'm just trying to keep her peace, that's all.
I feel kind of sorry for her, that's all. Al treats her like a dog.
Uh-huh. Fred and the kid used to talk the same way.
Like I said, a couple of fools. I'm not.
I hope not.
See you around, Marshal.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I would think so. Sure.
Hi, Kitty. Could I speak to you?
Oh, sure, Matt.
Excuse me, boys. I'll be back.
All right. You hurry back now.
What, man?
Kitty, has Al Morley been in tonight?
Oh, no. I haven't seen him, man. Should he have been around?
Oh, not necessarily. He and Lawson are riding out around midnight on a cattle buying trip. I just thought they might be meeting here.
Oh, well, not yet anyway. Jesse Wells would know what their plans are, though.
Jesse Wells?
Yeah, the bartender down there at the end, the young one. You know him.
Oh, yeah, sure. Why would he know?
Well, he's going along. Al asked him to help out. They're going to follow the Lazy Bee roundup. Try to get in ahead of the buyers from Chicago.
Oh, yeah. He's a nice-looking kid. I wonder if,
Yeah. Yeah, he's another friend of Ava's.
Oh, boy. Hold it. Marshal Dillon. Oh, come on. Wake up, Marshal.
All right. Take it easy. Who is it?
Jesse Wells, Marshal. Open the door.
All right, just a second till I get it. There. What's the trouble, Wells?
Al Morley, Marshal. And you better get your horse, because we got to ride back out there.
Out where? What happened?
Buffalo Flats. We camped there to wait for the roundup crew. And Al's dead, Marshal. He's knifed in the back.
Did you do it?
No. It was Red Lawson. He knifed Al and he stole the money we were going to use to buy cattle.
What in the world is going on, Mr. Dillon?
You better saddle up, Chester. We got to ride.
What's the trouble?
Ah, the usual. Nothing new but the names. Seems Red Lawson turned out to be a fool in spite of himself.
Over this way, Marshal. Camp is right there by that plum thicket.
Right.
Be daylight in another 20 minutes.
Hello, boy.
Oh. He's laying over there by the bushes.
Yeah, I see him. Whose knife is it, Jesse?
It's Al's. We were all asleep. We built a fire, made some coffee, and then turned in. When wait for daylight, the Lazy Bee bunch planned to work their stock up this way.
I see. Yeah, here, Chester. Wrap the knife in something and hang on to it. Huh?
Yes, Mr. Dillon.
Now, go on, Jesse. What happened?
Well, like I said, Marshal Dillon, we were all asleep. I guess it was the sound of the horse's hose woke me up.
Mm-hmm.
Red Lawson, he was pulling out. I run over to Al, shook him to wake him up and tell him. Then I saw the knife. He was dead.
Where were you sleeping, Jesse?
Well, right about here, I guess. Red was across the fire over there, and Al was where he's laying now.
What about the money? How'd you know it was gone?
Well, I thought about it right off, and I figured that's why Red had done it. Al was carrying about $10,000 in a little leather sack he'd stuck under the blanket before we'd gone to sleep. So I went and looked for it. It was gone.
You figure Red killed him for the money, then?
Well, sure. Of course, I doubt he meant it, though. I think Red was trying to ease the sack out from under the blanket when Al woke up and caught him.
Yeah, it's possible.
Be light enough to start tracking him in a few minutes, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. Sun's poking up over there now. Looks like it's going to be a clear day. Which way'd Lawson head out, Jesse?
East. Seemed to be following the wagon tracks.
Odds are bad, Mr. Dillon. He's got quite a start on us.
Yeah, too much of a start. Well, let's load the pack mule, Chester. I think we'll ride back into Dodge and then take the train from there to Abilene, then work back from the east.
Say, that's a good idea. Lawson probably won't be expecting anybody ahead of him.
I can't understand it. I just can't understand how anybody could do a thing like this.
It sounds like a meadowlark, Chester.
Yes, sir. It just flew into those bushes.
Red seemed a pretty nice fellow as far as I could tell.
It's a funny time of year for a meadowlark, isn't it?
Guess $10,000 was just too much temptation, huh?
Oh, some of them hangs around all winter, Mr. Dillon.
That sure sounds a lot better than that coyote howling. All right, Chester. Get a hold of his feet. Let's load him up.
Sumac Creek water tank's right around the bend up ahead of us there.
How long do we stop here?
Oh, about 5 minutes. Just long enough to take on water. Might as well relax, Marshal. It's a long ways yet to Abilene. Why, we ain't but 24 miles from Dodge City.
Feels more like 100. These seats are harder than a saddle.
Yeah. Say, this here fella you boys looking for, guess he's a real mean enough.
What? Oh, yeah. Mean enough.
Well, it's just like I always say, this prairie country ain't never gonna be a law-abiding place to live. Well, every time I pull out of Kansas City on the run west, I'm expecting every minute to be shot or hung or scalped.
Chester.
What's the matter, Mr. Dillon?
Look out the window here. Around the bend there by the water tank.
Looks like we don't have to go to Abilene.
Oh, yeah, there's some fella waiting to catch a train, I guess. You boys recognize... Is he the one?
Yeah.
His horse is tied there by the tank. Must have decided on a quicker way of traveling.
Yeah, it looks that way. All right, Chester, he won't be expecting us. Let's get out in the vestibule and then drop off and take him as soon as the train stops.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Marshal, whatever you do, don't let him get on this train.
Just keep the passengers away from the windows.
In a way, it's too bad, Mr. Dillon. Miss Morley would have really enjoyed that $10,000.
You're guessing, Chester. Well, he hasn't seen us yet. All right, let's go. Lawson, get your hands up.
No.
You're under arrest. Get your hands up.
No. He's running for his horse, Mr. Dillon.
Lawson!
He's going to fight.
You can't get away on foot. Lawson! Come on, Chester.
That's a cutting it awful thin, Mr. Dillon. Giving a man 3 chances before you haul down on him.
Well, we're still on our feet. He's not.
Yeah, but it's a pushing the odds, though.
Yeah, I guess. All right, pick up his gun there, will you?
Yes, sir.
Lawson?
He's still alive, Mr. Dillon.
Can you hear me, Lawson?
Sure. Sure, I can hear you.
There's a sack of money. Looks like it fell out of his coat.
Yeah, I see it. Lawson, there's no doctor on the train. We're going to try to stop the bleeding and do the best we can for you. There'll be a train back toward Dodge City in about a half hour. We'll wait for it. Is that all right with you?
I don't have any choice, do I?
No, I guess you don't. You made your choice last night. Was she worth it?
We will return for the second act of Gunsmoke in just a moment. But first, every Saturday night, Gene Autry invites all his friends to visit him at Melody Ranch for a half hour of songs and stories about the Old West. Tune in the Gene Autry Show tomorrow night over most of these same CBS radio stations. Now for the second act of Gunsmoke.
Let me see now. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a bad one, Matt.
Yes, I'd say the bullet's lying right in against his heart.
I just tried to wing him, Doc, but we were both moving. You can't always call him, you know.
No, I guess not. Well, I'm afraid that's about all I can do for him, Matt.
It's not enough, is that it?
He won't live an hour.
Yeah, I wish he was conscious. I want to talk to him.
Well, the stimulant might take effect, and then again might not. With this kind of a case, you never know. What is it you're after, Matt?
Ms. Morley?
Accessory before the fact?
She could have been.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a broken down old man, Matt, but if that woman rolled her eyes at me just once, well, I do not know. I just might.
Matt. Yeah. Lawson? Lawson, can you talk? Can you hear me, Lawson?
Yeah. Sure.
Was Ms. Morley in on it?
Nobody was in on it.
Did she know you were going to do it?
She had nothing to do with it.
Was she going to meet you somewhere later?
She had nothing to do with it. It was my idea. Nobody else.
Lawson. Lawson, listen to me. You're dying. Do you know that?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I can feel it. She wasn't in on it.
All right. That's the way you want it. At least Al won't treat her like a dog anymore.
What do you mean?
I mean, a dead man can't bother anybody.
Al?
You ought to know you killed him.
No.
What?
He was asleep. I took the money and rode away. And they were both asleep. I didn't touch him.
You're telling the truth.
I swear I didn't kill him. I only stole the money, and I didn't get...
Well, guess I was wrong, Matt. The bullet was closer to his heart than I thought.
Yeah. And I was wrong about something myself, Doc. I thought this was the end of it. Now it's wide open again. Wide open.
I don't see why you got me here just to ask the same things all over again, Marshal, because I told you how it happened.
Yeah, I know, Jesse.
You caught Red Lawson with the money on him. Now, what more proof do you need?
It only proves he took the money, Jesse. It doesn't prove he killed Al.
Well, what do you mean?
Chester, you better punch that fire up over there a little, huh?
It does seem to be getting chilly in here.
Now, what do you mean by that, Marshal?
You killed Al yourself. Didn't you, Jesse?
You're out of your mind.
You woke up and saw Red steal the money and take off, and it gave you ideas. You slipped over and knifed Al in his sleep. You knew Lawson would get the blame for it.
Well, sure. Sure, because he did it.
He said he didn't.
Dang stove.
Well, Marshal, did you expect him to tell the truth?
He was dying, Jesse. Knew he was dying. I think he told the truth.
I see. His word against mine. Word of a thief.
I didn't say I could prove it, Jesse. But you did it, though. We both know that. And sooner or later, I'm going to get you for it.
Yeah.
Chester, I think it'd draw better if you'd open the damper.
Quiet night, Mr. Dillon.
It was a quiet night last night.
And 2 men who were alive last night are gone tonight. Sure makes you stop and wonder.
Well, at least one thing hasn't changed. That coyote's still there.
I guess there'll always be coyotes around, Mr. Dillon. What are you going to do about Jesse Wells?
Oh, I don't know, Chester. He's guilty. You can see it written all over him, but there'd be no use bringing him in. I haven't got one piece of evidence. I don't know.
Yes, sir. She's quite a woman. Mercy. Quite a woman.
Yeah, she is that, all right.
Matt? Is that you?
Good evening, Miss Morley. Who are you looking for tonight? Can't be Red Lawson. He's dead.
So is my husband. You forgotten?
My deepest sympathy.
Don't bother. You know better. I am sorry about Red, though. He was nice. You're the one who did it, aren't you, Matt?
Yeah. Yeah, I killed him. For you. I couldn't do anything else.
I don't know why you say for me. It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, sure, I know.
You know. You don't know anything. You don't know how it feels to sit in a house alone with your husband dead. No one in town coming near you. Like he was poisoned or something. Sure, I don't feel sorry about Al, but I would have once. He's the one who changed me, made me feel different.
I know it wasn't your fault.
And you didn't even come to tell me he was dead. Why not? It's part of your job, isn't it?
I didn't come and tell you, Miss Morley, because I figured that you'd... Chester?
Yes, sir?
Would you mind walking on ahead? I'll meet you on the Texas Trail in a few minutes.
Well, All right, Mr. Dillon, if you say so. Well, I get some of that every time.
Why'd you send him away, Matt?
I was just wondering if you were going to be home later tonight.
Well, I could be.
Around 10 o'clock, say?
Sure, Matt. I'll be there.
Well.
Hiya, Kitty.
Chester and I were trying to think of some way to rescue you from Ava's clutches.
Only one thing, though, Mr. Dillon. I wasn't sure you wanted to be rescued.
Kitty, has Doc been in tonight?
Oh, I haven't seen him, Matt.
Chester, will you see if you can find him and have him meet me here?
Yes, sir. Right away, Mr. Dillon.
Kitty,
Yeah?
I wonder if you'd help me with something.
Well, sure, Matt. What?
Drop a hint to that bartender, Jesse Wells, that it might be smart to slip out of here and pay a visit to Ms. Morley's around, say, 9:45 tonight.
All right. Is it anything you can talk about?
I don't exactly know how to talk about it, Kitty. I got a murder on my hands. I know who the killer is, and I can't touch him.
So?
So I'm going to try to make him touch me.
Oh. All right, Matt. I'll take care of it. Will you be around for a while?
Yeah. I'll be here till about 10.
Who is it?
It's Matt Dillon. Who'd you think?
Just a minute.
Well, hurry up. Let me in.
All right, Dillon, come on in.
Well, Jesse, I thought you were working.
I was, till just a few minutes ago. Well, what's on your mind?
I think Mr. Dillon probably wants to ask me some questions or something.
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. Jesse Wells, for instance.
What?
You didn't tell me he was going to be here, Ava.
Well,
What do you mean she didn't tell you? Wait, Ava, what about this? You were expecting him. You knew he was coming.
Of course you knew I was coming.
You and Matt Dillon. For how long? And what kind of a fool does that make me?
I'm afraid you were born a fool, Jesse. That's why she picked you.
She's so wonderful, you said if only Al didn't stand in our way.
I didn't tell you to kill him. I didn't mention it once.
You didn't have to. Just kept dropping hints, leading me on. And all the time, you and Matt Dillon.
She's too smart for you, Jesse. You should have realized that.
Yeah. And instead, I played right into your hands. Both of you.
How, Jesse?
Killing Al, getting him out of your way, giving the two of you a clear field.
You're under arrest for murder, Jesse.
What? Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Both of you would. Sit around and laugh about it while you're waiting for me to hang.
I said you're under arrest. Now hand over your gun.
Oh, you don't, Dillon. You're not going to carry it that far. You're not taking me in for something both of you wanted me to do.
Hand over your gun, Jesse.
You want my gun, you got to take it away from me.
Get away from the door.
Oh, sure, I'll get away from you.
Hold it, Mr. Wells.
Are you all right, Chester?
Yes, sir. It was close, but he missed me.
Well, you two didn't miss him. I don't know which one of you fired first, but either bullet would have done it.
Well, you got his confession all right, Mr. Dillon. Doc and I heard every word from the front porch there.
We sure did. Only one thing, though, Matt. He didn't implicate the woman in it.
Yeah, I know. Will you take charge, Doc?
Oh, sure. Be glad to. Part of my job, you know.
Matt.
All right, Chester, let's go.
Matt? Could I see you for a minute before you go? Matt?
What's it add up to, Mr. Dillon? 3 men have been killed since the same time last night.
Yeah.
And you know, Mr. Dillon, I think maybe it's kind of all her fault. And you can't pin a thing on her. My.
Well, there's one lucky thing. There aren't many women like her.
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman Macdonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Les Crutchfield, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were Lillian Bayef, with Harry Bartell, Lawrence Dobkin, and Jack Crucian. Parley Baer is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Gunsmoke is heard by our troops overseas through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.